U.S. Bank Stadium in the Twin Cities. Today, after a crazy opening weekend, it's on to week 2, and we've got a good one here between the Los Angeles Chargers and the Minnesota Vikings. The first game's out of the way. Time to buckle down for the long season ahead, and we're off in week 2.
Here comes Hall. He's going to bring it out.
And look at this. Right away, a loose football. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. It's hard enough to play on the road in this league as it is, but to start on the road with a fumble on the opening kickoff, just not the precedent you obviously want to set.
Not at all, and now it's just words because they've talked about it all week. From the time they start game planning for this one, remember, going into hostile territory, we have to set the tone right in the beginning, and they do the exact opposite.
A run on first down, but it's not going to get them much, maybe a yard, and that's all.
Well, this defense for the Chargers, terrific last week in the season-opening victory.
And no matter what's done throughout a ball game, it always comes back to blocking and tackling. That's the essence of football. But I think it's hard for people to understand just how difficult it is to tackle, especially open field. Very few missed tackles on tape that I saw last game. This team does a nice job of getting their opponents on the ground.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Hey, check that. Street.
Again, it's Cook. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done.
10 yards, and it's good for a Viking first down.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and put the defense back on its heels.
Following the good run by Cook, here's another 1st and 10. And they'll send the slot in motion left. On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early, because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. They'll try the middle with Cook. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line.
From the 2, here's 1st and goal. Cook. Yeah, he'll work free from one tackle, but that's about all as he's taken down.
Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive, and like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. They'll go with the keeper, and he'll get in. He's over for the touchdown. It's their quarterback. His 3rd touchdown now on the year.
And the Vikings will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon.
Extra point splits the uprights, and it's now a 7-0 game. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
Herbert and the Chargers now with a 1st and 10
at their 25-yard line. Here's Eckler to begin the drive. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
On running plays, linemen, of course, have their assignments. That's expected. But it's not often you're expecting to see a cornerback blitzing in run support and tackling the runner for a loss.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Now it's Herbert. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Harrison Smith.
And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football.
You got to know as a quarterback it's going to be tough to outthink this guy in the defensive backfield. He's been at it 11 years now, so he knows all the ins and outs of the position. And he's in the right spot there to come up with the interception.
First down, here's the run with Cook.
And he's able to motor his way down to the 16-yard line. So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. This is caught. Touchdown, Vikings.
Justin Jefferson.
A 16-yard touchdown.
And the Vikings are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
Point after, right down the middle. And that'll make the score 14-0. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away.
And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback.
The Charger drive about to get going. And they're in an early hole. First drive, they threw the interception. That led to a touchdown, so decent-sized deficit early on.
It is, but I think you hit the key words, early on. So they have to decide, do we even need to change game plan, or do we just need to execute better and try and get back in this game?
And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
No surprise at all. They're looking for the big man early in this one. The only surprise for them, he couldn't hang on to the pass.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Here's Herbert. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
That looks like it's going to be 2 empty possessions now to start this football game. I think they're going to have to sit down and talk about what worked for them last week in their win. Sometimes you over-game plan, overthink things. Get back to what works.
Fielded at the 33. It's a 40-yard punt, 4 yards on the return. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway.
It has been about as perfect of a start to this game as these guys could have asked for, Charles. They've scored on their first 2 drives. They still haven't given anything up on the other side of the ball, so they can already make this a 3-score game here if they can come away with points on this drive.
Yeah, they're almost pushing them to the brink, aren't they, partner? Almost to the point now where it's a loss of words for me, which I know would excite all of our viewers, but you're just now supposed to see that type of dominance so quickly in a game like this. Everything they've done has been working so far. Offense, defense, you name it, it's going well for them.
In motion comes the tight end left. On 2nd down, Cook. And he'll take this one for about 4 up to the 40.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did, to get them into a manageable third down, because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
An extra cornerback now in the game for the Chargers here on third. They just do get the playoff as he'll look to throw. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
That might be the third down stop that they needed, because they've had a lot of trouble slowing down this offense in the first half. This might be their opportunity to get off the field.
And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. They'll get 9 yards on the return there following a punt of 42. And it'll be Charger football here as they take over. The Charger drive about to get going. Not only are they in search of their first score, they're in search of their first down in this ball game as they come up 1st and 10. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage. Tackle made that time by Dalvin Tomlinson.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority, because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. Herbert now. And that will fall incomplete. Oh, they took a shot there on what will turn out to be the final play. The Chargers going to signal for the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. They come up to the line now facing a 3rd and 10 after the incompletion. Now Herbert with it, looking to pass. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 17 yards for the Chargers there as they've got themselves a first down.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half, but I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
On first down, it's Herbert. Man open left side, it's Williams. Call it a gain of 3 on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
They kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
Herbert throwing again. The quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
That was not a real confident throw right there, and he's just 2 of 7 to start the game. Now he's going to have to find a groove with a big 3rd down coming up. Let's see if his confidence can increase.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Back to throw here, Herbert. Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's 4th down. On 4th down, Joseph Charlton on to punt. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, they could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But this is the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense, but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. They run again on 1st down. Cook. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Now the Chargers will use the second of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. So the 1st down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. That is caught by Thielen. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. A gain of 32 that time.
There's the arm strength that we saw in college and during the scouting process. And really, it's not just the arm strength there, but the placement as well. To me, that was an excellent combination of arm talent and accuracy.
A 10th carry in the game for Cook. He's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4.
Yeah, so they get that one, Charles, on the right tackle.
Yeah, oftentimes in that spot, you're trying to work against a defender, trying to set the edge in the running game, and you're trying to drive around and get your body twisted so that he can't get there. Sometimes your hands get too involved.
Cook following the penalty. 2 yards on the pickup. It'll be 2nd down.
The Vikings had 0-1 on the year following the loss in the opener. And listen, they knew last week they were in for a tough fight on the road. But now here's the home opener and a chance to get things right.
And I like the way that you presented that, because the bottom line is they didn't come out of that loss discouraged. They just came home and said, hey, if we do what we're supposed to do, protect our home turf, we'll be just fine.
Second and long.
Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. And the Chargers are going to get the football there as he gets this up to the 38-yard line.
They've got a pretty comfortable lead right now, but maybe a little too careless with the football that time for the rookie.
I think the key word there is comfortable. And there's two schools of thought on it. With that type of a lead, maybe you can take a few more chances because you have a cushion. Others will tell you, don't eat up the cushion with careless play. He'll learn to ride that line as he moves on in his career.
Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. 2 minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0. On 2nd and 9, Herbert. Williams brings it in.
And he'll be brought down on the other side of midfield at the 43.
Thus far, it hasn't been a real fun half for them, but a play like that may get them off the schneid a little bit, get them loosened up and moving.
Kind of seems like they've been sleepwalking and still sitting on 0 points.
And it's not always making an adjustment. Sometimes it's just going back to what you know can work and finally getting it done.
Yeah, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Herbert off of play action. He rifles one that's intercepted. Greedy Williams picks it off. And the Vikings will have solid field position here as they take over at their 45-yard line.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Setting up the screen for Cook. And he goes out of bounds. It looks like right at the 50. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
Boy, that was certainly well-read defensively. And the key to any screenplay is space to work. And there was none to be found there. And they tackle him for just a short gain.
In motion goes the tight end. 3rd down, Dalvin Cook. And a pretty nice tackle there, ranging up from his free safety spot as he'll stop him about a yard short. It's a pickup of 4, but they're still a yard short here with 4th down, forthcoming. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. In motion, the tight end. They'll run for it. Cook. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And that one opened up for him well as he'll take this down to the 26-yard line. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. And now we'll get a late timeout as it comes in the waning moments of quarter number 2. Now the Vikings will send out the special teams crew here for a field goal try. From the left hash mark, this a 43-yard attempt. And this one is right through. And that will extend their lead even further. Well, they already had the early lead, and they get the interception, Charles, and now they add 3 more with the field goal.
Yeah, they're in control of how this game is playing out so far. You mentioned the early lead. Now they're expanding on it, getting plays on both sides of the ball. A winning recipe if they can keep this up.
So barring a touchback, this likely the final act of the half as the kick is away. Off the squib kick, he corrals it inside the 25. The final shot before the break for Herbert. This is caught by Williams. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.